What was your childhood like?
I was born in Auburn, grew up in Newcastle. Back then, Newcastle was like the other side of the tracks. You know, Auburn was a big city, and I don't know, it was pretty rowdy. We did a lot of things that if you did it today and with the legal system the way it is, we'd probably been in jail a long time ago. You know, but it was really neat in the fact that we didn't have to worry about pedophiles. We didn't have to worry about, you know, people kidnapping us. We had the free reign of this Newcastle.
Yeah.
We got to run around at night and, you know, basically be kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
What was it like growing up after the Japanese peace treaty was signed?
Well, actually, I was born in 1950. So if you go back in history, though, in fact, we're working on a project in honor of the 442nd, which is a Japanese American battalion that fought in Europe. It's the most highly decorated battalion in U.S. military history.
Oh.
They, if you look over there, you'll see the statue that we've installed. I decided that we should do a project such as this to honor that generation of Japanese Americans who, one, they were interned, you know, they were incarcerated and put in internment camps and with no due process. A lot of them, such as my parents, were American citizens, and yet they were given 48 hours to get their belongings together, and they could take on what they could carry, and they were shipped to relocation sites. I believe my parents were in Arbola. My grandparents, my parents went to Tule Lake, which is out in the northeastern tip of California, and it's a high desert, just desolate. There's sagebrush, there's a lot of dust, it's hot, it's cold. They just put them in really desolate spots. Placer County was noted for its anti-Japanese American sentiment. There was, in fact, a lot of the books I read about that year, they talk specifically about Placer County, and they had, that there was a lot of signs, no Japs allowed. One of my friends was a 442nd vet who, when he came back after serving in that unit, went to try to get a haircut in Auburn, and the guy refused to give him a haircut, and he said there were no Japs allowed. So, you know, I think it's fitting that we're doing a tribute to the 442nd, the Military Intelligence Service, and internees, because Placer County was such a, I don't know, racist or anti-Japanese sentiment. So.
What was it like to be in the Navy during Vietnam?
Actually, the sentiment of the military, the public toward the military was everybody was anti-Vietnam, everybody was anti-military. The reason I joined the Navy is back in 1970, and I know you guys aren't going to remember Chet Huntley and David Brinkley, but they did the World Channel 3 NBC News, and they had what's called a lottery. And I was going to lose my 2S deferment in 1970, and they were putting the names of our birthdays across the television screen, and I was like number 8 in the lottery, and they went up to, I believe, 250 that year. So I was going to go, and I probably would have gone to Vietnam had I been in the Army. So I joined the Navy. I spent 3.5 years, probably about 3 years. I became an electronics technician, and I flew backseat radar radio operator, and I was stationed at Point Mugu, which is basically, I think that's where the fires are today. Yesterday, Camarillo, Ventura, Oxnard, that area, and you know, the military for me was a good experience. It was a great growing up experience. Not my only regret, but one of the things is I thought I grew up within 2 years, and I ended up spending 3.5 in the Navy. So a part of it I thought was a waste of my time. It's a different mentality in the service. I grew up with a tremendous work ethic, and you get the Navy, and you know, you're there to serve your country. You're there to put your life on the line. If you don't have anything to do, you just don't do anything. And I wasn't used to all that downtime. So that was kind of a culture shock right there. But by and large, you know, I survived. I got out of it. You know, I qualified for the GI Bill. That put me through college and got me where I am today.
When did you start working with the Auburn Food Closet?
Actually, I'm the chairman of Salvation Army.
Oh.
And Salvation Army has a food closet. And I was recruited for the Salvation about 20 years ago. And so I've been doing, and we've done Feed the Hungry, which we buy 4-H livestock animals, and we have them slaughtered and donate that food to the Salvation Army food closet. So about 20 years.
Yeah.